Fusion is a television, cable and satellite Hispanic news and satire channel owned by Fusion Media Network, LLC, an American multi-platform media company that is owned by Univision Communications, which relies in part on the resources of its parent company's news division, notorious as Univision. In addition to conventional television distribution, Fusion is also streamed online and on mobile platforms to subscribers of participating cable and satellite providers. Launched on October 28, 2013, the network's content features news, lifestyle, pop culture, satire and entertainment aimed at English-speaking millennials, including those of a Hispanic background. The channel is Univision's first major push into English-language programming. Fusion is based out of Newsport, a converted studio facility at 8551 Northwest 30th Terrace in the Miami suburb of Doral, Florida that it shares with notorious Univision and Univision flagship station WLTV-DT. It maintains additional studios in Los Angeles and bureaus in Mexico City, New York City, and Washington, D.C. Background. Apart from being Univision Communications' first attempt in the world of English-language cable networks before El Rey Network, Fusion is ABC News' third attempt in the world of 24-hour cable news. In 1982, ABC News and Group W first launched a 24-hour news channel called Satellite News Channel, but due to low clearance from cable systems, both of them sold the channel after just over a year on the air to CNN, which shut it down. 22 years later, in 2004, ABC News launched ABC News Now, which encountered the same problem. History. In December 2010, the newly appointed president of notorious Univision, Isaac Lee, announced plans to start a 24-hour English-language cable news channel aimed at American Hispanics. Univision Communications would later on, in late 2011, enter into discussions with Walt Disney Company-owned ABC News about entering into a joint venture to develop the channel. The discussions bore fruit with the company's formal announcement of the channel on May 8, 2012, initially projecting a debut during the first half of 2013. On October 4, 2013, the company announced it had named Isaac Lee as Chief Executive Officer to replace interim CEO Bo Ferrari. Fusion's formal launch date and its initial programming schedule was announced on August 1, 2013. The channel formally launched on October 28, 2013, buoyed earlier in the day by a simulcast of ABC's Good Morning America and Univision's Despierta America, designed to promote Fusion's launch and programming. After leading off with a 3-minute musical number at 6:57 p.m. Eastern Time on October 28, 2013, Fusion began regular programming with the debut of America with George Ramos. Fusion's target audience consists mainly of millennials, a group generally regarded as digitally fluent and normally favors social media and internet sources to gain news and base opinions, usually eschewing traditional broadcast and print sources. To that end, Fusion gears its programming less towards the constant coverage of breaking news, instead emphasizing context and analysis on news and issues, along with interviews, documentaries, and long-form reports on current events, lifestyle, and pop culture. Fusion also employs an on-air blending of serious topics and discussions that is, more often than not, laced with irreverence and humor that aims to reduce the air of pretense and seriousness with which other news outlets treat current topics and issues. The fusion of seriousness and lightheartedness has been evident in Fusion's primetime lineup. America with George Ramos, in its first week alone, has taken a more conventional approach, featuring interviews with President Barack Obama and United States Senator Ted Cruz, while Alicia Menendez tonight has featured more personal and less serious topics, and programs including No, You Shut Up have ventured towards irreverence and even satire. Fusion was originally conceived to primarily attract a younger audience of an English-speaking Hispanic and Latino American background. About one-fifth of millennials are classified as being of Latino descent and have generally been well acclimated with English-language society in the United States, either as immigrants or as U.S. nationals by birth. After receiving some backlash during development over concerns that too much of a focus was placed on ethnicity, Fusion would broaden its scope during its development, aiming to engage and champion a young, diverse and inclusive America, regardless of cultural or language background. Isaac Lee, who serves as Fusion's CEO in addition to president of news for Univision, has stated that Hispanic millennials see themselves as part of the broad American culture and that they want to be part of the same room and part of the same conversation as non-Hispanics. Fusion operates out of a former warehouse in Doral, Florida that is shared with Noticias Univision. Additionally, some resources are also shared with ABC News and Noticias Univision. However, the network operates separately from ABC's and Univision's news divisions, employing its own on-air talent, correspondence, management, production staff and board of directors. Univision handles programming responsibilities for Fusion, while Disney ABC Television Group provides advertising sales and handles cable and satellite distribution for the channel. ABC News President Ben Sherwood noted that while the channel will eventually feature all original programming, repurposed content from ABC News and Univision content airs on the channel during late-night time slots, along with paid programming. In December 2015, it was reported that Disney was in talks to sell its stake in Fusion to Univision. The transaction was complete on April 21, 2016. Programming. The initial schedule on Fusion includes programs intended for a younger audience than most cable news shows attract, many of which feature the lively, irreverent approach the network intends to make its hallmark. The network has added new shows and made adjustments since its launch, and carries the following shows as of November 2015. Former shows Come Here and AMP Say That, discussions and commentaries on daily issues, featuring former HuffPost Live host Alicia Menendez. DNA, an hour-long interactive show focused on social issues hosted by Derek Ashong. Sports Talkers, a half-hour show hosted Rebecca Delgado-Smith, Billy Scafuri and Adam Lustig that combined elements of sports talk radio and improvisational comedy. Open Source, a show hosted by KMEXDT News anchor Leon Krause that covers a mix of politics, pop culture and really weird stuff. Justice with America with George Ramos. Open Source began as a nightly program before shifting to weekly installments in March 2014. Fusion Live, a one-hour daily program hosted by Mariana Atencio, Pedro Andrade, and Yanis Papas that is what Atencio describes as NPR meets The Daily Show, presenting news, discussions, interviews, and live performances in an informative yet edgy manner. Originally a two-hour breakfast television show at Fusion's launch, the program moved to a late afternoon, early evening berth in March 2014 as part of a major schedule adjustment by Fusion. Good Morning Today, also produced by David Javerbaum and Hanson Alternative. This 15-minute show spoofs conventional breakfast television programming, with the setting of a morning news show in an alternate universe populated by live-action personalities and computer-animated selected anchors. The show is filmed with the use of the Jim Henson Company's Digital Puppet Studio, a proprietary technology that enables performers to physically puppeteer and voice computer-generated characters in real time. No, You Shut Up, a 25-minute combination of topical discussion and comedy. Executive produced by former Daily Show writer-producer David Javerbaum and created by the Jim Henson Company. The show starred Paul F. Tompkins on a panel of puppet commentators. The Dan Le Batard Show with Stugatz has simulcast of the ESPN radio program. Key personnel: Executive Leadership Isaac Lee, Chief Executive Officer; John Stern, VP and Head of Business Development. Key hires: towards its one-year anniversary, a series of high-profile hires of digital native journalists created high expectations for the young media company. NPR's David Folkenflik called Fusion one of the most interesting experiments we've seen in television since the emergence of Fox News Channel. Jane Spencer, Editor-in-Chief, Digital Platforms; Anna Holmes, Editor, Digital Voices; Felix Salmon, Senior Editor, Digital; Mariana Santos, Director, Innovative Storytelling; Tim Poole, Director of Media Innovation, Carriage and Content Distribution. By the time that Disney, ABC and Univision announced the channel's name, Fusion, on February 11, 2013, the channel already signed carriage agreements with major pay television providers including Verizon, Cablevision, Charter Communications, Cox Communications, AT&T, U-verse and Google Fiber. Fusion replaced ABC News Now on most cable systems. The network ceased operations on October 28, 2013, the day of Fusion's debut. The channel is primarily carried on the digital basic tiers of participating providers, and premiered to a reach of approximately 20 million homes, 1/5 of the total U.S. households with subscription television services. Fusion is currently seeking carriage on additional providers, with deals pending and not yet reached with notable providers including Comcast and Time Warner Cable. The channel was added to the Dish Network lineup after a new carriage deal was reached between Dish and Disney. Currently the channel on Dish Network airs only in 480 ISD. On the week of September 22, 2014, Fusion was placed in test mode on DirecTV Channel 342 in preparation for launch on the carrier along with sister channel the Longhorn Network. As of November 13, 2014, Longhorn Network and Fusion were removed from test mode as DirecTV and Disney ESPN were unable to at the time reach a carriage agreement. On December 23, 2014, DirecTV announced a wide-ranging distribution agreement with Disney to carry Fusion in early 2015. The channel went live on January 21, 2015. Fusion's goal, according to Board of Directors member and ABC News President Ben Sherwood, is to reach 60 million homes within 5 years of its debut. In addition to its on-air presence, Fusion posts nearly all of its content online through its Fusion.net website and is available via on-demand content on Apple TV. The network also plans to have a mobile app for use in smartphones and tablet computers up and running.